The top stories. Pakistani ambassador to Ethiopia says Ethiopia emerges as a gateway for Pakistan investment in Africa. And Ethiopia calls for a fairer and more inclusive global financial systems at G24 meeting. Hello and welcome to EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. With the news, I'm Shifara Olako, and thank you for watching us. Now, maritime trade boosts the global economy by being the backbone of international trade, moving over 90% of world goods and driving economic growth through employment and technological innovation. The broader ocean economy also contributes through sectors such as tourism, energy and biotechnology, although maritime transport remains the most significant component. However, global economic stability is sensitive to disruptions, geopolitical conflicts, and climate change impacts, which can cause significant challenges to the supply chain. That's according to United Nations Trade and Development. Approached by EBC World, African maritime stakeholders have reiterated that in order to advance African economy, maritime integration amongst countries of the continent is key across multifaceted goods and services. Tegustanesa has compiled the following report about this.
Yes, collaboration is very key in terms of commodities, to share commodities also. Do our own African trade type of a setup. It's happening in Europe. Why can't we do it here? So we just need to establish a forum where all of these, which is what the African Maritime Conference is about. Making collaboration, exchanging MOUs. Sticking to the plans. This is what we talked about, because we cannot come here next year again, if possible, and still don't have any resolutions from this conference. So I think going forward with maritime administrators and authorities is to make sure whatever we talk to, it gets implemented.
When we look at Africa's initiatives, especially in this continental free trade area, I think it's time for Africa to look at it in a compact way. How do I say this, or how do we do this? We need to stand together. Today we are talking about seafarers, having more seafarers in the world market, but Africa again has the lowest fleet in the world. How is this going to happen? So we need also to think, as we're thinking about having more seafarers in the world market, we need to think about having more ships, African ships, in the world market.
We need to ensure that we empower our seafarers. We have a lot of graduate cadets that are still home. They don't have the opportunity for sea time. They're stuck home. There's a bottleneck. There's a choke point at this time. So what we are advocating for, what I am advocating for, is a collaboration with the ship owners, international global ship owners, to offer at least one berth to one African cadets, graduate cadets. If all the shipping companies come together to offer at least one berth to an African cadet, we will be good.
We need to strengthen our capabilities in the maritime, in the protection of our maritime domain. Because if the maritime domain is not safe, that means shipping will continue to be expensive, but also the blue economy concept that we are talking about, developing our own nations, our own Africa through blue economy, through the use of our oceans, we will never realize it. So the first thing we need to look at is the safety of the maritime domain. And because the ocean is bigger, there are a number of reasons that brings us to piracy activities. One of them being insecurities in our own countries. Why would people opt for piracy instead of fishing and other activities? So there is something that we really need to look at in resolving our own issues within our countries first, but also we cannot do it in silos. We need to stand together at Africa. We need to stand together.
It's now ventured into even cybersecurity threats. So I think, as I said, collaborative efforts with, let's say, neighboring countries in terms of having a secured, territory. For example, in the Gulf of Guinea, you can have all the countries that are around there. When you come down to South Africa, and you can have Namibia, South Africa, having a regional, security type of a committee that will ensure that whatever threats are there are detected early.
Right now, I know that Denmark has signed some security agreements with countries, for instance, Ghana, because they have their shipping lines coming on the route of Ghana coming to our harbors. So what I know is that if these ship owner countries sign, agreements and create funds to ensure that, our naval bases are trained, our naval officers are trained to man the seas to ensure that there are no piracy, or even if there is piracy, the threat of piracy will reduce if they see the presence of security on the seas, on the high seas.
The Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, FAO, recognizes Ethiopia for its outstanding achievement under the Green Legacy Initiative, winning in the category of Sustainable Forest Management and Use. Tourism Minister Salamawit Kassa received the award on behalf of the Ethiopian government from the Director General of FAO in Rome. Previously, the Food and Agriculture Organization had also honored Ethiopia by presenting the FAO Agricola Medal to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed in recognition of his commitment to food security, balanced food supply, and accelerated wheat production. Minister Salamawit on the occasion extended heartfelt congratulations to the entire team of FAO for their 80th anniversary. We are very deeply grateful that Ethiopia's Green Legacy Initiative, launched in 2019 by our Prime Minister Dr. Abiy Ahmed, is being recognized internationally today as best practice in sustainable forest development and protection, the minister noted. What we began as a very bold vision has now grown into a national movement, the minister said, pointing out that planting more than 48 billion seedlings and increasing the country's forest coverage is a story about people coming together. It's a story about taking root, she emphasized, and invited all to visit Ethiopia and to walk through those forests and see for themselves what people coming together can do and what hope can actually bring into action.
المقصد الميزان وفرج الأميم والسلام جمال العالم جمال العالم اللهم صل على محمد أمة الإيمان مقصد الميزان وفرج الأميم والسلام جمال العالم جمال العالم اللهم صل على محمد
ወልዩላህ ናቸው። የአላህ ወልይ ናቸው። ያው ሲልሲላን ወደ ጉራጌ ሀገር ያመጡ ከዳን ይዞ ወደ ጉራጌ ሀገር ያስገቡ እስልምናን ያስፋፉ ወልይ ናቸው።
ثم سليمان مقسط الميزان وفرج الأميم المعسلم جمال العالم جمال العالم
እጅግ በጣም ታሪካዊ የቱሪስት መስህብ ስፍራ ነው። የሃይማኖት ተቋም ማዕከል ነው። በነገራችን ላይ ለእስልምናው ብቻ ተከታይ ሳይሆን እንደው በክርስትናው ዘንድም ምን ይባላል መሰለህ ያብሬት ያናጀ ተብላሸ ይባላል። ያብሬትን ያላየ በቃ ተበላሽቷል አይነት ነው። በጣም በጉጉት በጣም ብዙ ዋኑ ቱሪስቶች ከገጠር ነው ልጅ ሆኜ ሁላ ታሪኩን ሰማለው።
بما في قلوبهم قل استهزئوا إن الله محرج ما عنها في غائبين وما أدراك ما يوم ورسول.
Welcome back. Now, the 5th Pakistan-Africa Trade Development Conference and Exhibition has officially opened in Addis Ababa, spotlighting growing economic ties between Africa and Pakistan. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Ethiopia's ambassador to Pakistan, Jamal Bakr, emphasized that ongoing macroeconomic reforms in Ethiopia are drawing increasing interest from Pakistani investors. Meanwhile, Pakistani ambassador to Ethiopia, Atif Sharif, underscored Ethiopia's strategic position as a gateway for Pakistani businesses seeking access to Africa's vast trade and investment opportunities. Jerusalem Batzia reports.
The 5th Pakistan-Africa Trade Development Conference and Exhibition officially opened today in Addis Ababa, marking a significant step toward strengthening trade and investment ties between Pakistan and African nations, particularly Ethiopia. The 3-day event aims to foster deeper economic collaboration through a series of high-level engagements, including a trade conference, business-to-business, and government-to-government meetings. Speaking at the opening ceremony, Ethiopia's ambassador to Pakistan, Jamal Bakr, highlighted the growing interest from Pakistani investors driven by Ethiopia's ongoing macroeconomic reforms. He noted that these reforms are creating an increasingly attractive environment for foreign investment.
Basically, for any nation, especially for our foreign policy, it gives priority to economic diplomacy. So we start knocking the door of Pakistan, starting from the President Office, Prime Minister Office, His Excellency Jam Kamal. We have met frequent times on discussing how to promote business and trade. So this has created a synergy. Why this time to Ethiopia? We're trying to explain why Ethiopia at this moment in history. This is why we're defining them. It gives them immense opportunity for them. We bridge that through economic collaboration.
Pakistani ambassador to Ethiopia, Atif Sharif, emphasized Ethiopia's strategic importance as a gateway for Pakistani business seeking to expand into Africa's diverse and emerging markets. He affirmed Pakistan's commitment to enhancing economic ties with the continent.
With 1/5 of world's population dominated by youth, 3.3 trillion of GDP, 50% of global minerals and arable land, Africa is the emergent economic powerhouse. Pakistan also attaches high importance to its relations with Ethiopia, which is the largest nation in East Africa and diplomatic capital of Africa. Over the last few years, our bilateral relations have grown from strength to strength.
The event is expected to facilitate meaningful partnerships and commercial opportunities, contributing to mutual growth and regional integration.
In another development, more than 100 Pakistani manufacturing companies participated in the 5th Pakistan-Africa Trade Development Conference and Exhibition. The event showcased a wide array of products, including medical and pharmaceutical goods, beauty care items, textiles and apparel, food and agricultural products, electrical and household appliances. Speaking to EBC World, both exhibitors and visitors expressed optimism about the opportunities created by the exhibition. They noted that the event served as a valuable platform to establish market linkage between Pakistan manufacturers and African business stakeholders. Take a listen to this.
towels. We are making towels, cotton-made towels. We have complete setup in Pakistan, from sizing, weaving. We are making everything. All right. So you can get a good market. Thank you very much, sir.
Here in Ethiopia, you have a lot of opportunity. It's a growing market. There's a lot of issues of diabetes patients. So we have a lot of diabetic care products. We have antibiotics as well. We have vaginal suppositories. There's a lot of infection going on here. So it's a lot of opportunity here in market to explore in medicines, in cosmetics. You know, Africa, there is a trend of whitening injections. So we do have whitening injections as well, glutathione injections specifically.
Very surprisingly, I wasn't expecting this kind of response in Ethiopia, and before coming here we had this perception that Ethiopia must be a very not so what you can say, the infrastructure wise you guys are doing very good, and we are expecting a lot of customers, and hopefully we can start making business here, and both of us would get a good output from this exhibition. You can see a lot of Pakistani companies are here, and we are all here for this same reason that we can do business in future.
I think it's a great platform, not only for us, but for all the exhibitors who are here from Pakistan. Like everyone says, Africa is a land of opportunities, and it's an untapped market for many of us. So it's like providing us an opportunity to connect with people from this region and explore the markets. What are the requirements of the people? Like I said, we have the product ready for all age groups, for all markets. We are already covering like more than 20 countries in the world.
Oh, it's very wonderful. It's quite it's an eye-opener. You know, whole of Africa coming together, partnering with Pakistan. That's something great. Okay, Africa is an emerging economy, and the population alone in Africa is overwhelming. Nigeria alone over 200 million people. So the partnership is going to foster economic development, and it's going to also foster diplomatic relations with African countries and Pakistan, of course.
This exhibition is really nice. It's a good initiative. We needed to see our local products here in Addis Ababa, and it's really interesting to see that. It's a good opportunity for business people to, have that here as well. It's good for them as well as the local economy. I think that's why it's good.
And finally, Ethiopia's Finance Minister Ahmed Shide has called for a bigger, better and fairer multilateral systems that gives developing countries a genuine voice and equitable access to global financial resources. Speaking at the 114th meeting of ministers and governors of the Intergovernmental Group of 24, G24, held in Washington, D.C., on the sidelines of the 2025 World Bank and IMF annual meeting, Minister Ahmed emphasized the need for renewed multilateralism, greater global solidarity, and increased concessional financing to support developing economies in both crisis response and long-term development. He also echoed the G24 call for predictable and timely debt restructuring mechanisms under the G20 common framework, while recognizing the modest progress achieved so far. The meeting, chaired by Argentina, was held under the theme Structural Transformation Policies for Unlocking Growth Potential. It brought together finance ministers and central bank governors from G24 member states, along with special guests, including IMF Managing Director Kristalina Georgieva, World Bank Group Managing Director for Operations Anna Berde, and UN Economic Commission for Africa Deputy Executive Secretary and Chief Economist Hanan Morsi. In their interventions, the IMF and World Bank senior executives reaffirmed their commitment to maintaining strong program engagement with G24 member countries, commending ongoing reform efforts and encouraging members to stay the course to safeguard financial stability and foster sustainable, inclusive growth. They also urged multilateral development banks and private lenders to join in strengthening global financial cooperation. Dear viewers, you have been watching EBC World. Now a quick recap of the top stories. Pakistani ambassador to Ethiopia says Ethiopia emerges as a gateway for Pakistani investment in Africa. And Ethiopia calls for a fairer and more inclusive global financial systems at G24 meeting. Well, dear viewers, with that, we come to the end of today's news. Many thanks indeed for watching us. Bye-bye.